What is up? It is Maximus MMA, bringing you my top 5 must-see UFC fights before the end of 2027. I've got 5 banger fights. All of them are confirmed except one of them, which is extremely likely to be confirmed. And then I've got an honorable mention or two. Okay, and if you're looking at the thumbnail, you might know what the honorable mention is going to be. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. It's time. Drew Dober against Jalen Turner, man. Now, I will admit, okay, about 2 minutes before hitting record here, I did see that Jalen Turner is fighting Kawhi Fernandez in August. So that might throw a little bit of, of a wrench into the plans here before the end of the year. Still a fight that has to happen, man. So, look, I don't know who duck to. Okay, but this fight just makes way too much sense. I mean, Jalen Turner on Tapology is ranked like 16th. Drew Dober's like 30th. Oh, that's too far. Kawhi Fernandez is ranked 45th. If you don't know, okay, Drew Dober, as you can see in my little image of Drew here, when the body cam gets turned off, all right, Drew Dober becomes a different man, right? And it would not surprise me if, when this fight takes place, if the UFC broadcast, as soon as like they touch gloves, start to fight, it like goes dark, and then it comes back and Jalen Turner is unconscious on the ground. I mean, tell me that you could not see that happening, man. Look, Drew Dober's got it out for melanated people. We'll put it that way. When he fights, non-black people, he looks pretty human. Some would say he's pretty mid. I might actually say that myself. Well, look, Drew Dober is a bomber. Okay, he fights for the entertainment of the fans. He's like 37, 38 years old now. He's not going to win a title. Why don't we give him the all-time meme legacy fight against Jalen Turner? Like, wake up. Why are we not making this fight, man? Drew Dober, the final Infinity Stone, takes on Jalen Turner. First off, it's just such high stakes. Like, Drew Dober gets the final Infinity Stone in the lightweight division, okay, for beating black people. Come on. We'll just tell it straight up how it is, okay, because it's funny. It is funny. At the end of the day, this is all jokes, and I do know that Drew Dober did kind of like try to denounce this and kind of like deflect it before he fought Michael Johnson. But when the cage door closed, what did Drew Dober do to Michael Johnson? Okay, like, let's remember that. So I judge a man by his actions, not his words. And actions would say that Drew Dober might be a little bit racially motivated. Okay? On the other hand, you got Jalen Turner, who just came back after essentially quitting the sport, crashed out, quit the sport, lost passion, whatever. We're glad to see him back. I like Jalen Turner. He got a win against old man Barbosa, right? Edson Barbosa. Okay. Let's put him in there with somebody that can bang a little bit. Now, Fernandez can bang, but I don't want to focus on that fight. Bro, if Jalen Turner defeats Drew Dober, he would literally become a hood legend overnight. I mean, like, because you guys obviously know that people love turmoil, right? They love controversy. And with the way that it started to catch on right before, it literally was like a day or two before the Drew Dober-Michael Johnson fight, that's when people started to talk about, hey, you ever notice that Drew Dober turns the body cam off sometimes? Okay. It's just one of those where, like, bro, everybody's going to be talking about it. Put it on, like, the main card of a pay-per-view, like, opening fight. It's going to be hype, bro. The storyline's there. And it's just a win-win either way. Plus, from the rankings-wise, it makes so much sense. It really does. Especially to stage both their careers. Because, honestly, I don't know who would win. To me, it's a pretty 50-50 fight. I mean, it really is. So, it's not like I'm reaching here. Now, I'm going to give a little bit of a reach, though. Now, this one is contingent on this fight happening and Drew Dober beating Jalen Turner. If that happens, we know what needs to be next, brothers. Come on now. Okay? This would be the true final Infinity Stone. Right? Now, again, this is only if Drew Dober was to beat Jalen Turner. But, like, come on, man. I mean, who wouldn't want to see this fight? Like, who wouldn't want to see it? Think about this, right? If you're thinking, I don't really know if I want to see that, and Gane might be a little too big for him. Okay, let me ask you this. Would you rather see Drew Dober, okay, on a knockout streak of melanated people, right, coming off a vicious knockout of Jalen Turner, potentially, taking on Francis Ngannou in a return to the UFC? Or would you rather see Francis Ngannou fight Felipe Lins like we just saw like a month ago on the MVP card? Be real with me now. I know. If we're going to be honest, we'd obviously rather see the Ngannou-Drew Dober fight. Right? So, look, I'm memeing here, but like, come on, man. Like, this would be gas. Obviously, they couldn't do it in the United States. No sanctioning body would do this. Ngannou might be a little bit of a favorite here, okay? But hey, if the UFC broadcast cuts off, right, it'd be something. So, yeah, man, all-time meme fight. And look, as a final disclaimer, because look, I have no shame in my game, and I'm just gonna call it as it is. I'm giving the people what they want. I have a black friend, okay? Even he said that Drew Dober needs Jalen Turner next. Come on, man. Come on. We all know it's next. And then give him Ngannou. Because who doesn't want to see Ngannou back in the UFC too? Come on. On a more serious note, okay, even though I am very serious about Drew Dober, Jalen Turner, don't get it twisted. We've got Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop, taking on Hernandez here. Look, this is a great fight, man. And I was super excited when I saw this announced that it's in an actual arena. I believe it's taking place in California. Bro, thank God. Did anybody else, when you first saw like these two names, like, you know, pinned together? Bro, this is an Apex for sure. Like, this just feels like an Apex fight. But it so deserves to have an arena. Because if you don't know, now you will. RoboCop is literally one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. He's definitely in the top 10. Okay? I just love his fight style. I love his killer be killed mentality. And also, he just looks like insane. You know what I mean? Like, no Diddy. Like, he just one of those dudes where, like, RoboCop is one of the last dudes in the UFC to, like, you'd be, like, you know, trying to be, like, you're hitting on some girl at the bar and she's like, bro, my boyfriend's going to beat your ass. You know, who's your boyfriend? And it's RoboCop. You feel me? Like, you'd be like, oh, shit, bro, I'm dipping, bro. Anthony Hernandez, Fluffy, you know, you might be like, okay, maybe I could take this guy and he kicked my ass. But you know what I mean, right? Like, he looks like kind of an average guy. RoboCop, okay, he looks like he might be on some sauce. Maybe it's just those Brazilian genetics, I don't know. Point is, though, this is just the ultimate power versus gas tank matchup. I mean, we saw RoboCop death gas against Jared Cannonier, a fight that really was his shot to get into the upper echelon of middleweight many years ago. And he lost. Jared Cannonier kind of fraud checked him there. But since then, he's had some nasty knockouts. I mean, nasty. And you're taking on Fluffy Hernandez, who is the gas tank guy at middleweight. I mean, it just seems like such a good matchup to me. This one's going to be guaranteed banger. And the fact that it is in an arena makes it so much better. Because the fans should be there to appreciate a fight like this. 100% going to be a banger. Next up, we got Kevin Holland against Jacobe Smith. Look, this is a little bit of a ball knower, like, sleeper fight here, right? But this is real danger for Kevin Holland. And Kevin Holland seems like the kind of guy recently where, like, you know, he's like a win one, lose one, win two, lose two, right? Like, you really never know what you're going to get with Holland. And, you know, he had the nut shot against Mike Malott. He got destroyed by RDR. You know, he beat, I think, Gunnar Nelson, right? Like, who was kind of mid, so this is like the first fight in a while that, like, I'm genuinely kind of scared for Kevin Holland's health. Now, is Jacobe Smith all hype? I don't know. We're going to find out. But something about this fight, I really think that loudmouth Kevin might come back. Because I think that Jacobe Smith is going to talk shit. And especially after Jacobe Smith's last finish. Look, that was a nasty finish, okay? It was kind of like short elbows from crucifix or side control. I forget what exactly it was. I got a buddy, okay? He trains MMA. He loves MMA. He was saying that he thinks Jacobe Smith's one of the most dirty fighters in the entire UFC after that. And I gotta say, after watching it back, he did give homeboy like 2, 3, 4 extra elbows in the ground. Okay, they were completely unnecessary. I think Kevin Holland's going to bring that up. I really do. And this is on the undercard of Dricus and Usman going on an OKC. I just think that this fight has a chance to steal the show for the real hardcores. Because Jacobe Smith is legitimately one of the most exciting prospects in MMA right now, in my opinion. And this is a real level test. Because, I mean, he beats Kevin Holland by knockout. Oh, God. Now we got a real prospect in his hands. But maybe we give vintage Kevin Holland, loudmouth, come back and beat Jacobe Smith. Kind of stop the hype train. Maybe talk some shit about those late shots. Hey, man. This just, to me, seems like a great fight. So I wanted to include this instead of just having all main events, right? Because, look, we're excited for Usman versus Dricus. This is the fight I'm going to be most excited for on that particular card. Up next, we got Joshua Van taking on Alexandre Pantoja. The rematch. Number 2. This time for the belt. Again, hopefully, look, we don't get a fluky arm break from Pantoja again. And this is why I put in there, like, first fight didn't count. I mean, it counts. Don't get me wrong. And Joshua Van was vindicated as a true champion the way that he beat Tatsuro Taira. Right? Because, look, I'm so happy that Van won that fight. Because, you know, if he would have lost that fight, people would have been like, oh, he was a fraud. He was never champion. Never champion, right? He shouldn't have been. Lost to Charles Johnson, right? Because he won that fight, and in the manner that he did, he was vindicated as a true champion. Now it's time to really put that to the test, though. Because, like, Alexandre Pantoja's kind of been there, done that. He's a little older now. He's obviously coming off the arm break. This is the fight that has to happen. I mean, you have to write that kind of flukiness, is lack of a better way to put it. And I agree with Joshua Van. Like, hey, man, like, I'm the one that made him fall like that, right? It's not my fault he broke his arm, and I agree. But obviously, we know there's a slight asterisk next to it, especially because Pantoja was such a long-reigning champion. The thing that excites me about this fight, too, is that Van's a star, man, now. And he's a freaking star. And Pantoja, I mean, it's going to be hyped to see him back in there trying to get the belt. And this division is just so on fire. Winner gets Manel Kape, Starboy, beginning of 27, end of 2026. Probably beginning of 2027. Bro, this division's stacked, man. And who would not want to see Joshua Van against Manel Kape? I mean, again, Joshua Van, the reason why you gotta love him, bro, is he's not going to be in a boring fight. I mean, is there like a 10% chance that Pantoja, like, you know, strangles him to death? Maybe. And by strangling to death, I don't mean like actual sub. I mean like, you know, kind of holds him there. Maybe. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I think Van at this point probably will win. I think especially because the confidence he's going to have after he beat Taira, who Taira is supposedly one of the, and he is, you know, one of the best grapplers in the weight class. Pantoja, right? Obviously, he's an amazing grappler. So you got to think Van's like, man, I can hang with these guys. And on the feet, he's going to be the younger, faster guy. And that's why the Kape fight is so interesting too, man, because, I mean, you got the combination punching and the speed of Joshua Van against the one-shot power of Starboy Manel Kape, who's on a 4-fight KO streak at freaking flyweight, okay? Come on, man. You don't see that too often. This is a banger. We got to see it. We need this to be solved before the end of 2026 so we can move into 2027 and really get this logjam out of the way. Okay, with guys coming up like Loner Kavanaugh, Manel Kape, Horiguchi could come back by the end of 27, right? You never know. So it's a great division right now. Then we got the big one going down this weekend. Well, next weekend. Conor McGregor, the return of the Mac. Okay. Number 2 against Max Holloway. Blessed Holloway. Look, I've been hearing a lot of rumblings that Conor can KO Max. And part of me kind of agrees that he could. I mean, certainly he could, right? I mean, if Holloway said, here, give me one, right? You know, Conor's probably going to sleep him. But obviously Max isn't going to do that. This one's has got to be on here simply because the return of Conor McGregor is going to be hype. It always is. Look, will Conor McGregor ever return to his former glory? Realistically, no. Okay? But we're all going to be delusional come Saturday. And all fight week, really. Which is why I put fight week energy as one of the highlights here, because dude, it's different when Conor's in there, man. It's different. I'm not trying to just sit here and glaze Conor this entire little kind of breakdown preview, but it's different when Conor's fighting, man. Everybody wants to see this. Also a good stylistic matchup. Look, Holloway doesn't have to fight, you know, somebody like Charles Oliveira who's just going to show him levels in the grappling. It's going to be a stand and bang fight. I do worry for McGregor if this fight gets out of the first 2 rounds. But I do think he will have the power advantage here. So I think this is a good matchup for Conor. If he wins, he's probably getting a title shot. Like, which is so ridiculous to say out loud, but he probably is. If he loses, supposedly he's got one more fight in his contract. So I think he either retires or Michael Chandler finally gets the red panty night. I think it's one of the two. So we're obviously rooting for McGregor. Look, I share basically the first name with Max Holloway. I'm Maximus A lot of my, childhood friends call me Max. So that's not going to sway me, though. I'm Team McGregor this weekend. Next weekend, sorry. I don't know if I'm going to pick him yet. I will be releasing my picks for that entire card here pretty soon. I'm torn, man. It's one of those for, like, I know when the fight starts I'll be rooting for Conor, but do I really believe he's going to win? We'll see. Still, super high fight. And then we got the obvious number one if you've seen any other video on this channel, bro. Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane 2. Okay? Bully Tom is coming for his revenge against the terrorist, dirtiest fighter, black Muslim French guy, Ciryl Gane, in the entire UFC. Now look, okay? This is a big fight for many reasons, right? It's a heavyweight unification. Everybody knows that fighting is really only as good as the heavyweight division, okay? I mean, especially in boxing, which is a different sport. But we have been so robbed over the last 5 years or so of a great heavyweight division. And this fight really feels like it could kick off the return of that. And to be honest, I'll give Gane credit. I'll backpedal a little bit. I think that the Gane-Pereira fight might have kicked off that era. Great win for Gane. Controversial back of the head strikes, but we'll ignore that for a second. Just the aura of the White House card. I really think that there being a finish in that fight with Pereira and Gane really put some juice back into the heavyweight division. I do respect the fact that Ciryl Gane did call out Tom Aspinall. I mean, who else is he going to call out, right? But I like the fact he's like, hey, let's get this shit going, man. Because as a fan, as a Tom Aspinall enjoyer, a Ciryl Gane hater, let's go, bro. Let's go. I mean, I'm going to be so excited for this fight, man. There's no fight that could compare to it. That's why I put it even over Conor McGregor. Because this fight actually feels like it really matters, right? Conor McGregor is well past his prime. And even though if he wins, he probably gets a title shot, right? Is anybody really buying that? You know. Back to this, though. I mean, it just feels like this can be a real return of the heavyweight division fight. We just had a great matchup with Gane and Alex Pereira. Now we get to unify the heavyweight division, see who the true champion is. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than that. And everybody knows, man, that the heavyweight division, I mean, it's the baddest man on the planet, right? That's the right of the title. It's big stakes. Let's put it that way. It's huge stakes. Plus, it's going to be a bad blood rematch. I mean, can Tom get his revenge, or does Ciryl Gane, prove to essentially be the best heavyweight outside of John Jones, right? I mean, even John Jones schooled him, but you know what I mean, right? And we can move on past John. Because there's more matchups at heavyweight, too. So, yeah, man, this fight's going to be super awesome. I'm definitely going to be picking Tom. I really think he's going to knock Gane out this time. Like I said in my breakdown before, I thought that Tom looked pretty good in that first fight. Just because he had a little bloody nose, I don't think that means that he lost. But anyways, that's here nor there. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, we've got some big fights coming up, so let me know what your most favorite part of the video was, and or what fight you're looking forward to the most before the end of the year. Obviously, you guys have my list now, and I will be breaking down all these fights before they happen. As always, it is Maximus Mma. Hope to see you in the next one.